Welcome back to the channel. This is the sixth installment in the series Building Your Dream House in Jamaica. I would like to welcome all my old subscribers back, and I would also like to welcome the new people who have joined us. Thanks for your subscription. It is very welcome. It helps us to grow the channel, and for that we are grateful. I would also like to remind everyone who have been watching that if you subscribe to the channel, it helps us out greatly. Also, if you would hit that notification bell, it helps you out so that whenever I put out new videos, you will be notified of those new videos. So also, if you don't mind, just hit that like button, and that will also help out these algorithms and help to grow the channel. So again, thank you very much. With that being said, in this episode we will talk about the various uses of rebar, where rebar is used, the most cost-effective ways of utilizing rebar in your structure. We will also discuss cost-saving ways of modern construction that are just as effective but will save you a lot of money. Steel, or rebar as it is commonly known, is used to add tensile or torsional rigidity to concrete structures. As previously discussed, concrete is very, very strong, extremely strong in compression. But the minute you begin to twist it or try to bend it, then that is where the weakness shows up. Rebar is used to ensure that the concrete is also strong when you try to twist it. That is to say, it adds torsional rigidity. So in Jamaica, when we build houses, we tend to build them to withstand earthquake and other natural disasters such as hurricanes. So steel is used to reinforce the walls. Steel is also used to reinforce the columns if we are building a structure that is more than a single story tall. Steel is also used in our roofing materials because the vast majority of houses built in Jamaica, the roof is made of slab instead of the traditional roofing material. Overall, wherever cement is used in the construction of your building, you are going to reinforce that with rebar, or steel as it's known. Now steel comes in various sizes and grades. For our purposes in Jamaica, we use basic two sizes. One is the 5/8 or around half an inch, and the other is the 3/8, which is close to being about quarter of an inch. Generally speaking, in a normal residential building, which is 2 or 3 stories tall, there is no need for any other size steel. The places that steel are used generally in the construction of a residential building can be broken down into distinct sections. The first section would be your foundation. The second section would be your columns. The third section would be your walls, and the fourth section would be your roof or your slab roof. The last section of your building is known as your belting. Your belting runs around the perimeter of your building. This lays along the top of the wall after the final blocks have been laid. So you have gotten to the final height at which you are going to make the building, and the belting runs completely around the entire building at the top. In utilizing your steel to achieve the maximum reinforcement effects, particular attention must be paid to the way the steel is cut and the manner in which it is caged and the manner in which the stirrups of the cages are applied. There are standard recommendations for the bending of steel, and those recommendations depend on where that steel is to be used, the type of caging that is to be used, and where in particular those cages are going to be, whether they will be in the foundation, the columns, or the belting. Generally speaking, the wall reinforcements will simply have straight pieces of steel inserted into hollow block pockets, and those pockets will then be reinforced with extremely strong concrete. In the construction of a residential building, the type of foundation that you need generally depends on whether or not it's a multi-story building or it's a single-story building. This is how a cage for a proper foundation should look, and this is what it should look like when it is complete and properly boxed. If your building site is on an extreme slope, or if your building site is extremely rocky, you may experience difficulty with this ideal concept, but this is precisely what you should aim for. If your building is going to be a multi-story building or it is on an extreme slope, there will be a necessity to also have footings under all your columns, and so you will also have to construct a footing cage. If the building is a single-story building, there is absolutely no necessity for a footing. The properly constructed foundation will be sufficient for the structural integrity of the building. A single-story building does not need columns. A single-story concrete structure constructed to withstand earthquake and hurricanes in Jamaica does not need a column in the traditional way that columns are built in Jamaica. They are overbuilt, pricey, expensive, and unnecessary. Let us use this 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, open concept, a single-story building as your typical example of the sort of building that you would be building in Jamaica. In this building, with just 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and an open concept living dining room, you are looking at a total of 12 columns, and that would be 6 L-shaped columns and 6 T-shaped columns, and that would be a total of somewhere around 120 lengths of steel. But if we were to construct this same building using more modern techniques, excluding these expensive columns that are caged and simply using steel in a more conservative manner, we could reduce this approximately 120 lengths of steel to somewhere around 36. Now, belting, which is actually rebar reinforced cast concrete beam, and typically surrounds the entire concrete structure at the top, and typically surrounds every room, adds a significant expense to your construction cost. To maintain the structural integrity of each 90-degree corner in your residential structure, all that is needed is a bar 48 inches long, bent at a 90-degree angle and inserted into each corner horizontally along the length of your block. This is done for every 5th level of blocks for every corner in the building until you get to your bond beam, also called your belting. At this point, I should take a little bit of time out to explain to you why this works. Essentially, your entire residential structure consists of a number of boxes all put together, and most of your boxes are going to be square. We are going to discount for the moment any odd shape that you may have in your house, such as a round veranda or one of those 50-cent piece front sections that people like to put at the front of their rooms and so on. We're just going to look at the structure as a number of rectangles all put together. Now, if you should make the foundation of your structure, of your rectangle, very strong, and then you should add very strong walls to your structure and reinforce your corners, what you end up with is a rectangle that is very, very strong. So the sum of strong walls, strong corners, and strong foundation gives you a strong box. This is essentially monocoque construction where no single element works by itself. All the elements combine to add strength, so the entire structure is far stronger than the sum of its parts. So with a properly constructed foundation, all these oversized beams and columns are completely unnecessary in a properly constructed single-story building. This is part 1 of 3 parts dealing with rebar. In the next video, we will talk about bond beams, lintels, and beltings, which essentially bond beams and belting are the same thing. And it's also almost are lintels, to be honest. And after that, we will also talk about roofing. But because rebar in roofing is a specialized subject, we will deal with that in a video covering roofing. Now, as I always say, these videos are not meant to be exhaustive. They by no means cover all the subject matter. They are meant to stimulate your mind and to give you information that you would normally not get otherwise. So you can take the information that you get herein and use that to make informed decisions concerning your build. It is meant to help you to construct your dream house in the most cost-effective way possible, saving you money that you can otherwise use on creature comfort items that you would prefer. So again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Do not forget to like and subscribe and share these videos. Thank you very much.